The price of oil has climbed higher on the supposedly positive news coming out of the US and China delay in increasing trade tariffs. Most likely, the equities markets will react positively to this news as well. Oil in Canada seems to be potentially in for a boost in its prices also, but it's a very different situation. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we are going to look at oil, we'll look at natural gas, and I wanted to begin by taking a look at this. Alberta's premier has announced a temporary 8.7% oil production cut, or a decrease in 300,000 barrels a day in the production of raw crude starting January 1st, 2019. You've seen what has happened to the price of oil. It has come down on the WTI, on the Brent as well, but in Canada it has been severely beaten down to a record low. In an announcement Sunday evening, Notley said that the daily cuts will remain in place until the 35 million barrels of processed oil currently in storage is shipped to market, likely by the spring. So they have a glut, they need to get rid of it, or else the prices will continue to fall. The reduction will drop to an average of 95,000 barrels a day until the curtailment ends at the end of 2019. They get into more details here, but essentially what she said was this: in Alberta, we believe that markets are the best way to set prices. But when markets aren't working, when companies are forced to sell our resources for pennies on the dollar, then we have a responsibility to act. A responsibility to defend our province and to defend our resources. In this Bloomberg article, talks about the same issue. Canada joins oil cut drive as Alberta seeks to ease glut crisis. Canada's largest oil producing province ordered an unprecedented output cut, an effort to ease a crisis in the nation's energy industry and adding to global actions to combat a recent price crash. This is a very important commodity globally. Now, while Canada isn't the biggest exporter of oil, it does make a difference to the economy. You have to look at it on a local level as well. So we have the jobs surrounding this industry, either directly or secondarily, and we look at this to be obviously very detrimental to Alberta. So these areas, some of these cities and towns are so heavily focused around oil, not just in Alberta, not just in Canada, but in the US and other places as well. As soon as the price comes down, you see the jobs going away very fast. Companies like this are not going to keep people around if the price is at a record low. They're going to fire people. Their real estate is going to drop in price. People are going to move out of the city. They're going to go look for jobs elsewhere, wherever they can find it. Maybe it'll be in the same industry, maybe not. Who knows? So they talk about the same kind of details in here, but essentially, I just wanted to show you this. The cut by the world's fifth biggest producer follows a renewed commitment over the weekend by Saudi and Russia to extend their deal to manage the oil market. Global prices crashed last month by the most in more than a decade, a plunge that particularly battered producers in Alberta amid surging oil sands output, a shortage of pipeline space, and heavy US refinery maintenance. All that put together, we have a very big crisis in Canada here at this time. And you can see the Western Canada Select spot price moving down to a record low, about $13 a barrel, US dollars a barrel. Now that cannot be sustained. It is far too low for them to actually produce it at this price, sell it to the market, and somehow be able to withstand this for an extended period of time. It's impossible. Here you can see the oil price, the WTI, sitting right now at $53.72 a barrel. That is up 5.5% because of the trade issues apparently being non-existent today with the US and China. The market has completely forgotten about it. As long as we have a pact, therefore, for the 90-day period, everything's going to be, just fine. And Brent is sitting at $62.49. Okay, so that's that. This was from 6 days ago, but I think it's so important. I never had a chance to cover it. Get your natural gas in Texas for 25 cents if you can. Next day, natural gas prices for Tuesday at the Waha Hub in the Permian Basin in Texas tumbled almost 80% to the lowest on record because of limits on the amount of gas that can move out of the region by pipeline. they get further into the details here, I thought it was interesting that the prices collapsed this much, and they were actually just letting it off into the atmosphere because they want the oil. They didn't want the gas. So they're basically just giving it away, and at some point it was in the negative. People were getting paid to take natural gas. Of course, that was just a brief moment, but that's how it actually happened. It's unbelievable. I mean, you look at the price right now, you can see natural gas sitting at about 4.5, down 2.8% as I record this video. I'm showing you the chart here going back from 2014 up until present, and just looking at it within 2018. So if I grab the 1-year chart, you can see that just in the past few months, the price has skyrocketed, truly multiplying here. So there is a very big change in between natural gas and oil. There's no doubt about that. But I just wanted to show you that because obviously it's very relevant. I don't know what's going to happen with either oil or natural gas. These are two very important commodities. Places are using these for every application imaginable these days. They're just constantly finding new reasons to use it, even though there are alternative energies that are being set up. It seems like the natural gas and the oil are still being heavily used today. There's no way to deny that. So I'll end the video there. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, you're supporting this channel, so I do appreciate that. And last but not least, if you want the financial education you were not taught in school, these 2 books have it all. You can actually flip through them at Amazon. There's a link in the description. Through there, you'll be able to see the foundation, the history, the asset classes that talk about making money. Everything you need to know is available in these 2 books. So check them out at the link. And if you're more interested in the audiobook, you can get that at themoneygps.com.